And these guys have all lost games before, right? They played thousands of games of League of Legends. They can bounce back, lock in, and win the next one.
100%. And it's going to feel hard for the coaching staff. You already mentioned it, for Revan and Wild Turtle to come look at that game and be like, yes, we are legitimately fulfilling things in the early game that's giving us leads. And Boogie is actually proactively looking for plays and getting invades and all these things. But at this stage of the split, on the second half, at this point, you care more about wins and finding an opportunity to play for playoffs. Every week will make it even clearer in your ears. So they just want wins at the end of the day.
And I was curious to see what Shopify were going to identify as the thing that they really, really want to lock in and not give over to NRG. And they have decided, presumably, that Zyra was something that they're fully willing to still let NRG have. NRG not removing it from the table on red side either, and instead choosing to ban out Bvoy's Ezreal. Yeah,
so they can still end up going a Zyra brand trade if that's how the rest of the draft plays out, because Corki Trist can also be traded if they want to. But then, actually, the fact that NRG has heavily prioritized Senna Nautilus means that the mid jungle can easily get disrupted, and they're much more comfortable with this Senna Naut. I'm not a hater of this because their Senna Naut has been very good, especially in spring.
Yeah, I mean, I think FBI is one of the better, if not the best, Senna player we have in the league right now. And NRG are very comfortable with these Senna compositions. One interesting thing on Shopify's side is what they are going to go for on the bot side for me, with Ashe completely falling through, it looks like, as Insanity locks that Gnar in for FakeGod.
Just a little surprised that, you know, Senna has just been really not seen at all.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've seen it in a very long time. And even though it was really prevalent during the lane swap meta, it still was really good outside of that meta. And NRG was the team that kind of abused it, especially during their championship season. So now they're going back to that strength with the duo that's really worked on it.
Yeah, and here's the thing, is Jayce can be a flex between mid and top, depending on what NRG want to do. And I really love this for NRG specifically, right? Not only are they really, really comfortable with Senna compositions, but their best iteration of this roster was when they were able to flex picks between their solo laners and really take advantage of people in draft there. As we see now, Ashe is taken off the table and Nidalee taken off the table by Shopify.
If I have to guess, it's Dhokla top Jayce, just because Jayce is a traditional counter pick to the Gnar top, and it's something Dhokla loves. It also, it's the compromise. It's half ranged.
It's half ranged.
It's not a fully ranged top that he wants to play. He can flip to melee to appease the coaches, then back to range.
Then right back when they're not looking.
You can play a little range.
When they're not looking, he's right back into the range mode, exactly. And also just like the usual answers to Zyra and Brand jungle has just been outrange them. Have some semblance of poke in your composition. And this actually gives them just that. So really interested to see what the rest of the composition from NRG is going to be outlining. That being said, Nidalee and Brand have been banned by Shopify Rebellion. So
jungle bans, 4 jungle bans towards Contractz. What's he got left? Because they want to hold the solo lane flex until the end, I'd imagine. So the jungle pick has to come in right here.
I wonder if it's going to be something like maybe a Maokai coming through, or we're just going to say we are definitely sending that. Jeez.
Just as many AD carries as they can get.
And Zeri mid.
Zeri mid, Jayce top.
Oh my god, I love this game. I actually love this game. I don't know how much they practiced this, but this is the first Zeri mid we would have seen in the LCS. So already really creative draft from NRG. The jungle is interesting because I remember last split when you talk to Contractz, he does not care if you try and ban him out. He just has a lot in the bag, and he's actually genuinely excited about playing something different. So I wonder what is going to work with this comp, knowing that they have a little bit of dive with the Senna ulti, Nautilus, of course. They have the engage. They have good poke alongside Jayce. So you can go any which way.
I think it would be Maokai. Maokai Jayce is the combo. They also need frontline. I'm pretty shocked if it's not Maokai, unless I'm missing something wild. If it's Kindred, I just riot.
This would be fun.
Oh my God.
This would be fun. The last game went to 50 minutes, all right? 50 plus.
Wow.
If it's going to go that long anyways, why not just lock in the Karthus? So we got a Karthus jungle from Contractz. I don't remember the last time we went to a 5-pick on jungle, but here we are with NRG's comp. Which one do you prefer?
I mean, if it goes late, NRG, it just absolutely. I keep like trying to avoid swearing by saying poops, damn it.
I appreciate that.
Then on the other side, obviously you still have Insanity going back to the Corki, and then Boogie on the Zyra again. We'll see if he can get it done.
So that's the draft. Casters, take it away.
Muchas gracias, Jet. We are getting back into our second game of the series. Kobe I will return to the caster desk. I'm very shocked also that the Maokai was not selected. I thought that
tank jungle Maokai for the front here, because the ultimate damage really early on versus a Zyra versus a Corki just kind of annihilates their backline. So I actually really like the setup here from NRG. Not only do they go with the Karthus for their last pick, for Contractz to be in this position to carry, and which they really needed his damage in last game, and we really saw, but also they play into the Jayce buffs. We are on live patch, everyone. First, league on the live patches, and Dhokla is the first one to really get to use these Jayce buffs, and he loves playing Jayce. So. Yep. I have to say, for Dhokla's sake, in his arguments with the coaches to allow him to play more carry top laners, I hope for his sake that it goes well.
Hey guys, I really don't want to have to play K'Sante another match, but the Gnar opened up.
K'Sante was doing some giga damage too. And
yeah,
surviving,
I mean, like that's why I'm confused. Like, man, you were kicking ass that game, Dhokla, but Jayce counter matchup into the Gnar. Should have an earlier time or an easier time of trying to get lane priority for Karthus and Contractz to see if he wants to look for grub priority in the early stages of the game. And one of the things we always have to remember that Jayce, even if he doesn't necessarily do well in laning phase, he still has a nice scaling power spike, being able to get 2-3 items and then those accelerate shock blasts. It's massive poke that you can set up for the rest of NRG. And if you get them low enough, the ideal combo is going to be you throw out the Shock Blast if they're low enough, then Dawning Shadow from FBI and Requiem from Contractz should finish off any low health members.
Yeah, and the Jayce buffs that I'm speaking of are, of course, the buffs to Shock Blast that you're trying to highlight here, which are going to be the main part. It is both 5 base damage and the 5 AD ratio, so pretty nice stuff there. And if you ever watch Dhokla's stream, he's always spamming that and a lot of range tops as well in solo queue in his stream. So I think that is kind of the reward for your K'Sante in the previous game, doing a lot to allow NRG to claw back there and finally actually scrape together a win. His reward is you do get a Jayce game. So eyes will be over there, especially because both junglers actually started bottom side of the map this time around and are both power clearing up to that top side matchup.
Yeah, they're blitzing through the jungle at the moment. I think the way that Boogie seems to be positioned, he might be able to finish both Gromp and blue buff at the same time. But it looks like he started with the Gromp first and then will work his way to the blue buff. So both junglers should be finishing around 3:05 or before that time. But Dhokla, because he has priority in this lane, he's going to face check this brush and force Boogie off. He still has smite, but the fact that Boogie is deterred, can he actually kill him here?
Oh, he's deep.
It might be possible. Dhokla still has flash if he wants to go super all in. Boogie's going to stop him, and an early flash from Boogie ensures. But now Dhokla is overcommitted for the play. And he might as well just die to minions, try to hopefully get an execute and not give kill gold. But unfortunately, not enough time has passed. Boogie gets first blood.
Okay, but Contractz gets the blue buff, so
This is where Contractz tells Dhokla, 07, brother, thank you for your sacrifice. I get the blue buff. Boogie is now down to summoner spell. Hashtag worth for me.
All right, we are all the lawyers for Dhokla when his court case with his coaches because he just won the ability to play a carry jungle or a carry top lane after the last series, and then ran straight through for the first blood. Bottom side now.
Huhi was forced to flash. The ignite was ticking from Zeyzal, and Boogie had showed up on that tri-ward. But Contractz is here first on the bottom river Scuttle Crab. So even though Boogie got a chance to reset with those tier 2 boots and skirted all the way towards the bottom side of the map, he still could not contest Contractz for both of those crabs.
All right, we'll see. So first blood money versus blue buff steel for junglers here. See if it ends up being the big diff later on. Oh, we don't need to see this again.
Oh,
Observer.
man, what is
they're
this?
doing it dirty. No, look at those minion autos.
PM.
Minion autos. Couldn't survive long enough.
And he might as well just die to minions, try to hopefully get an execute and not give kill. They're playing my call over it too? That's extreme.
We got to look at those mechanics on the blue buff steal afterwards. Don't worry, don't worry.
I mean, Dhokla just stared at the screen cold face. He's like, I'm not phased by this at all. I knew exactly what I was doing.
I will say, too, Contractz off of that blue buff, not only did he get the blue buff steal, but then he chained it into bottom Scuttle Crab, as we saw, and then a full second clear. So no recall yet for the Karthus, and you get a full double clear, including an enemy camp with the double camps. So he's going to have a large first purchase on this Karthus. See if Contractz ends up carrying the game, then Dhokla can tell his coaches it was because of him.
Yeah, I would love to see if we can see how much gold Contractz is currently sitting on right now, because it's got to be at least a component or two. Might be Faded Ashes and subcomponents of that Haunting Guys for the Liandry's first purchase. Bam.
He's got first strike as well, so you can do the early ultimates.
Just to farm that gold.
Try and farm some extra gold there. Money printing machine. Might be missing the Dark Harvest executes later on, but we shall see. On that reset, though, of course, Mr. Boogie right back out to those Void Grubs. Zyra always trying to power through them. He's got one down while Contractz gets mid-prio first. He's got two down, so Boogie able to yoink away two of the Void Grubs first, even with the extra member for NRG making his way up in FBI on the roam. It does mean bottom side is 2v1 for Huhi too.
And he doesn't have flash from the prior skirmish before. Zeyzal is going to lead the charge here. CC is down. Ignite is ticking once again. And Bvoy is gifted the kill, but hang on. FBI with the follow-up, then Requiem from Contractz since he had the extra camp advantage. Can they just get a little bit more damage? Nicely done from Palafox with the W.
FBI is cooking there. He flashes over, he gets the snare onto Insanity, gets just enough damage with Contractz ult as well, and they feed that money into Palafox. Palafox getting the last hit on that kill. Very big since his minion wave was eaten by his jungler while they went for the chase. So Palafox got the first tag there and then flashes to follow. He gets the flash out, which allows FBI the confidence. He knows there's no way Insanity is going to be able to dodge his snare, so he flashes over into the Raptors. And with that one, they just barely are able to get the last hit there. So that is going to be the early upgraded Berserker boots, plus the kind of laughable boomerang item here.
I'm just saying, Kobe, the defense for Dhokla's case is looking pretty good right now. Because if he didn't stop Boogie, Contractz would not have hit level 6 in time to get that Requiem. You see what I'm cooking here?
Yeah, nice case you are building for Big Dokes.
I promise I'm not, on the copium right now. It's looking good. Now, Shopify still have 2
That's
kills.
what all addicts say. Mr. Raaffaa.
Calm down, calm down.
Sus.
A little bit. Oh, Zeyzal's in there. But FBI just pops the cleanse, and he's able to get himself out alive. I know that Shopify were trying to play on the advantage of FBI not having flash, but it's only 50% HP lost. Boogie is here trying to push them off the wave that is going to be built up. But it looks like Boogie will take this recall instead.
Might get poked out. All right. They delay a bit. Meanwhile, Contractz. They're buying more time. Everybody on this NRG team is always buying time for Contractz to farm. Palafox on the chase on the kill, Contractz was farming the mid lane.
Yep.
Dhokla chased him out, Contractz was farming the blue buff. He's got another blue buff steal, and he wants the Gromp steal as well. FakeGod can't deny it to him, though. Contractz ended up using his smite. Now he doesn't have smite for the blue buff, and the rest of Shopify are coming, so he is going to walk this one out. He does have his Krugs available. Oh, wow, he's greedy. He's going back in, even with no mid lane prio.
This is, Contractz realizes.
Go to Krugs, man. Go to Krugs. Keep farming.
Juanito was like, but maybe they won't contest me here. And then Palafox is probably saying, brother, I have no mid prio. Insanity's gone. Just go farm your Krugs.
83 to 57 CS for El Contracto. Continue farming up the storm, and guess what? A new Karthus ultimate will be available fairly soon for some extra first strike money. Zeyzal's back out and roaming though, so we've got desynced support roam timers again. And they have the ward down there that's seeing the end of the recall for FBI. So Shopify know they've got power play up on top side of the map, and look at the wraparound. Leona is coming along with Boogie. Big Dokes, you are under attack.
Dhokla is going to try to clear out this minion wave as fast as possible to the skies onto the minion wave, flashes the Grasping Roots, but the Stranglethorn AoE is too big for him to dodge. Shopify pick up another kill.
Zeyzal taking some early tower shots to allow Boogie to walk through the tower, and then uses his flash to get out afterwards and grabbing, ensuring this kill onto Dhokla, getting the flash off of the Jayce. But Raaffaa, this whole game, anything NRG ever do, we can always just say it's a distraction for Contractz to farm, and he's going to get the dragon too.
And we know that, you know, as long as Dhokla doesn't fall massively behind, which, to his credit, he's still up 200 gold in this lane. So Dhokla, even though he's died twice and Shopify have picked him off, he's still holding his own, and he's still going to scale into a powerful Jayce later into the game goes.
Truly powerful. Let's see it. Let's see those Jayce buffs at work. Now, though, Void Grubs number 2. Round 2 for Grubbies is coming up. Let's see about the roam over. They do have FakeGod on bottom side with no teleport, so this should be energy priority. There's still a few seconds on that teleport. I think you should just make the call for Shopify. Don't let anyone get caught. And just force down some turret plates here for FakeGod.
Yep.
See if he can even that matchup up there with Dhokla. Get some extra turret plate money for the Gnar. Get a little bit tanky so that he can join for some team fights.
Zeyzal was fishing for Contractz. Meanwhile, Bvoy might be in trouble. Requiem does a decent amount of damage, below 50% HP, but Boogie and Zeyzal are here for the counter. Solar Flare will find Huhi with the slow. Bvoy goes in with the Killer Instinct. FBI now ticking from the Ignite, and he is popped by Bvoy. Huhi could be next. Still no flash available. Turns on to Bvoy, tries to get a kill traded back, but the barrier keeps Bvoy alive.
Really good counter here from Shopify. They had Gnar pushing on the bottom side the whole time, so a bunch of turret plate money for FakeGod, and then they make the counter play here as NRG overreach a little bit. They still had flash on Bvoy, so he was not really worried for his life. You see the engage, they go for it, knock up into the snare, but then he flashes under his tower, so they can't follow up on the damage, even though the Karthus ultimate is channeling. And then Zeyzal, constantly on the roam, is right up the river for the engage here. Bvoy is able to dodge that snare, and he was able to use the barrier to ensure that he can pick up the extra one here. Boogie actually getting the last hit, so Boogie with a lot of these last hits here for the Zyra as well, and Boogie with his Leandries completed.
And despite Boogie falling behind Contractz in the farm race here, the fact that Boogie has been successfully involved in a majority of the kills for Shopify has allowed him to still stay even with Contractz in terms of gold advantage.
Problem is, that puts a bounty on your head. So we'll see if that bounty does get collected.
He does not have flash now. That could be target numero uno for NRG. Next fight, all on Huhi to begin the engage, as when it comes to CC and guaranteeing a gauge, that's kind of all on Huhi. You can try to look for a slow with the Wall of Pain, and maybe if you can fish for an FBI Senna W, you can also hit it, but I imagine that Boogie will have to watch his step whenever he is traversing through darkness on the side of NRG's map, as 2 minutes before the next dragon, Rift Herald will be spawning in about 40 seconds, and that is what Shopify is setting up for.
All right, I'm also looking at Dhokla with the Eclipse now completed. Feels really good for Jayce. The rush item here is quite nice for your little matchup versus Gnar before Gnar has a chance to complete. So the 1v1 going nicely for him, while the rest of NRG want to secure the area before the arrival of that Rift Herald. A couple of camps available for Contractz, so while they wait on that one, grab Raptors, grab red buff first.
We're back to calm waters here on the Rift, as the Rift Herald finally will spawn. And no one really seems to be in strong position to go for it right away. You already see Bvoy is the first one on this mid wave to crash and gain priority. Zeyzal and Boogie already on the top side of the map as well. So it seems Shopify favored to be the first ones to start looking and poking at the Herald.
Herald's been poked. Herald's not happy about it either. Herald's coming for you.
Who disturbs my slumber? Come here. And the rest of NRG are going to start fading into the river to make sure that the Herald is not completely swept under. It's just a battle between the two. Nice engage, right onto Bvoy. Doesn't have flash available. Clean pick by NRG. All the cooldowns being used. Requiem still available if they want to look for a second pick.
Huh? We needed to see the beginning of that. Bvoy just gets annihilated. I mean, full credit to FBI and Huhi here in the mid lane. But like that pick, I want to see the beginning of that pick.
Yeah.
Because that is huge. Mid lane tower going down like that for free, getting that kill onto the Kaisa. That is a massive turning point here for NRG. Thank you,
did he just
observers.
lollipop him?
Investigating Mr. Bvoy here. Thank you, observers. And it's just a good hook from Huhi. Bvoy tries to run in a straight line away from the hook.
Oh, man. And meanwhile, the action does not stop for NRG. They pumped down FakeGod as well on the bottom side of the map. He had burned flash, but it was not enough to escape. And Dhokla and FBI will take out this turret as well.
I was like when the Nautilus are using minions too, like they're auto-attacking minions and then boom, throw out the hook. Got that one there, and wow, the domino effect's quite nice for them. NRG, bottom tower, they're able to get. Looks like Shopify, though, are at least stabilizing here. They'll grab Rift Herald, and with 4 people on top side, even though they're giving up Dragon, I think they should be able to stick around here and also even at least one of the outer towers. Yeah. Boogie's going to come support as well. So Zeyzal plus Boogie plus Insanity all going to stick up there for that tower. And turn it from Rift Herald into the tower. Meanwhile, Contractz will do another full clear, by the way, after grabbing Dragon number 2. Here's a look at what happened on the bottom side, though. Our other investigation. Attempt for FakeGod, you know, the flash into the hop there. You're gaining a lot of distance, but not going to be able to get away from the triple person gank in the end anyways.
And during this whole time, Contractz has held on to his Requiem, so he is waiting for a little something more destructive from NRG. It's been just one-off picks where clearly he has not needed to use it and just holding on to it for a big fight, maybe on the next objective play.
Contractz has more CS than every individual on Shopify except for Insanity, except for the mid laner who gets to go side lane now. And he for a second was tied with his own top laner. So Contractz here with some pretty good numbers on that Karthus. And now he's cleared all his camps though, so there's nothing up for him to farm.
Yeah.
Now you're forced to look for some skirmish. Mid lane looks to be the site as well. 4 members for Shopify, 5 members even, as FakeGod also joins. 6 members as they spawn the Herald. That counts. So Shopify 6 strong here for the push to mid.
Now in game 1, the Rift Herald didn't even make it to the tier 1. This time, it will make the crash. Rift Herald will feel a little better about at least being used this time around. 3 minutes until the next dragon comes up, 2 minutes until Baron spawns. NRG still feeling like they are the ones in the driver's seat, but it's still not far enough of a deficit for Shopify to feel like they are out of the game. There's still ways for them to play around, setting up for these objectives, and being, as long as they're the ones getting there first, you always have the threat of forcing NRG to play into the Zyra plants, into the Strangle Thorns. It's just about getting there.
Well, they're going to play into Insanity right now.
Palafox popping the Lightning Crash, flashes away from the Solar Flare, and the Dawning Shadow will push Insanity and Zeyzal back from continuing the chase onto Palafox.
Zeyzal with a good hover here, the Leona protecting, making sure that this NRG attempt on the split push is unsuccessful. Insanity is fine for now. Also didn't have to use his flash. It was just Palafox using the Zeri flash and ult. But they're going to be unable to keep the tower alive, although they do defend their solo lane split pusher. So that's pretty good. Another Gromp being stolen though. Contractz back at it. Continue farming and counter jungling.
And meanwhile, Dhokla was on the bottom side of the map, but had to step away from the tower since Boogie was answering with a little bit of pressure of his own, shadowing FakeGod to make sure that he wasn't in any danger of being solo killed, as Contractz will always have that global pressure with Requiem. FBI using the Dawning Shadow to make sure that Palafox was okay. And we still are playing a slow game between both of these teams. You can see how important it is that they do not drop any careless mistakes against each other. Because we already brought up NRG's strength of schedule in game 1. Shopify's strength of schedule, they fought a lot of their harder opponents early on into the split with Cloud9 and Team Liquid, but they still have to play the likes of FlyQuest later on this season.
Yeah, Shopify's schedule definitely very difficult and gets more difficult from this point, as you're kind of highlighting there. So things getting a little dicey for Raz and all of the chatters that invested early. Although I do think that this team does look better already than we have previously seen for this season. So the improvements are there, despite quite probably the game scores still going to be the same,
Sure.
and the series going to look similar to the rest of the year for them. They did have some better moments, some more coordinated moments, especially in the early stages of that game number 1 before it got, let's say, less than coordinated.
Yep.
Now we got mid, though.
Flash, depth charge onto the back line. Boogie is in trouble, but the rest of the front line steps up, and they can ensure that Boogie does not have to flash. That's a summoner spell gone from Huhi.
Yeah, and they've got Prio towards the Baron here, so it forces a face check from Shopify.
Dredge line onto Zeyzal, Solar Flare completely whiffs. The rest of FakeGod tries to step on up, gets one onto Huhi, and the Stranglethorn starting to do some work. Palafox is popped by Insanity, and NRG are forced to run, but he's still got the Requiem. Who is he gonna pop? The Malignance and the Leandry should burn Zeyzal down, and they get a trade kill back.
Oh, look at FakeGod's HP too. FakeGod was
blinking.
He was like a tick away there for a second, almost also going down to it. But Contractz didn't quite farm hard enough. Raaffaa, he needed like one more amp tome or something.
And it's so huge for Shopify to win that fight. They immediately snowball that into the third dragon of the game, denying NRG to be on soul point.
Yeah, that was a huge face check. So let's look at it, because Zeyzal walks up for the control ward, and he got his defenses up just in time, and then he flashes away, and FakeGod goes for the secondary engage here, and they're actually able to burn down the farming Nautilus and work towards 2 kills for the side of Shopify. As you mentioned, they also got the objective afterwards, so it was those 2 kills plus the dragon. And despite Zeyzal going down, since they didn't lose their little mini Gnar there, they're feeling pretty dang good about those circumstances.
Yeah.
That could have gone very, very poorly for them.
Yep.
In a situation where you have to face check and you're walking towards the Baron. NRG definitely had a good setup, but Shopify come out with a little bit of hope here. I like that.
And I have to applaud Boogie's patience on when to use the Stranglethorns, because he didn't use it when the Solar Flare came down. He didn't use it exactly when FakeGod threw the ulti. He waited for NRG to feel comfortable about the 2 engaged ultis kind of whiffing on the majority of the members. Then the backline steps up, and then that's when the Stranglethorn comes in, and it got to the Palafox.
I gotta say, Zeyzal has really been making a lot of plays this game. He has been so active for Shopify, and we just saw there, going in, Leona ultimate, got the Karthus flash, now they're starting up the Baron.
Huhi is locked down. He tries to get the depth charge on a couple members, but he is popped. Here comes the teleport from Palafox, but he's got to immediately skate over on the right side of that big rock, because he did not want to get jumped by the remaining members of Shopify.
Other thing to talk about with Zeyzal is his teammates, people that play with him, always talk about his shot calling as well. So a lot of intangibles there. We were talking about Boogie and how his veteran leadership and shot calling getting onto this Shopify team might help. But Zeyzal as well, something that he is known for. So Shopify with a couple of good little moves. Let's see if they can turn it into anything here in the mid game, because NRG still have some pretty good split pushing options, and they still have some really nice scaling options for themselves as well. As far as the damage goes, FBI, let's see, check on his souls actually to see how much extra range. I mean, 113 at 23, almost 24 minutes into the game. For the non-farming Senna, the fasting Senna, as they say. About medium, I'd say. I don't know. I'm not that dialed in on the amount of roaming that he was doing, going to the objective as well. Definitely going to look to increase a little bit here. See if he can get to that super annoying Senna range towards the later stages of the game. But it's going to be another setup on Baron.
Yeah, when you start firing from a screen away. Not at that point yet, thankfully, for Shopify fans, as NRG trying to fight their way back into the Baron pit. But Here comes the power of that Zyra as they're starting to unleash the plants, Stranglethorn, and raging the plants to accelerate this Baron take. Contractz is known for Baron steals, but he doesn't have flash and he cannot find the lay ways to secure it as it is a Baron for Shopify. They're going to continue to engage. Solar Flare skirts up the fight. NRG trying to continue. Requiem will give them a little bit more damage on the back half of it, but Shopify managing to escape once again from the clutches of NRG.
Yeah, and I have to say that one, again, enabled by Zeyzal previously blowing Contractz' flash, as we highlighted. Then Contractz had no way to instantly get inside Baron Pit and go for the steal. And then Zeyzal as well with the activation of the Locket of the Iron Solari. He's like, nice Karthus ultimate, bro. And they shrugged that one off too, so Shopify. All right. There's no way we're going to beat 50 minutes again, though, right?
I'm going to hold you to those words, Kobe, because if this bites Shopify's butt back later on, you are responsible for Caster Curse again.
I mean, I'm the one that bet against him, so.
Well,
I'm down for that.
I'm giving Shopify Rebellion fans something to be angry about if something bad goes
fair enough
for them.
I mean, they're still down 2k gold and an extra dragon, but with this Baron buff, see what they can cook.
NRG trying to see if they can withstand the defense, while Shopify having this Baron buff on their side will make short work. Oh, meanwhile, Palafox in a 1v1 against FakeGod almost gets obliterated, but the flash. Don't tell me FakeGod flashed into the wall. That would be really tragic. It's Palafox managing to escape. FakeGod still has teleport. Palafox does not. So FakeGod wants to join the fight, but Shopify seemingly got what they wanted in that tier 2.
They get the tier 2, and they should be able to pick up this dragon for free, no problem, because the benefit here of pushing on bottom side, you have full vision coverage leading up to the dragon. They've got the Baron buff. Shopify, or NRG have full reset though, and they're going for a pick.
Right onto Contractz. He still has flash, but the CC is too strong, and he is gone. NRG will now continue the fight. The Requiem from the After Death passive will deal some damage, but another Locket shield prevents too much of that burst being lethal on the side of Shopify.
That's the danger when you're retaking area that you just left. Shopify had pushed on bottom, full vision coverage of the jungle, and they get another pick, a key pick here. NRG, though, without their jungler, are trying to come check. Baron-empowered recalls mean that nobody gets caught.
Palafox had the right idea of where they could have been waiting, but just not fast enough since they had the Baron-empowered recall. 4,000 HP on the Dragon.
Zeyzal.
Can they get in there? It is secured by FBI, but now Zeyzal threatening with a flank. Contractz is still dead for another 5 seconds, so he would not be able to help. It's all on the NRG 4-man core to run the hell out of there. Boogie has now joined the fight thanks to the power of Hextech portals. Huhi is going to step up front. Zeyzal's into the back line. Dhokla and FBI are trying to kite up this one back. Palafox pops one. Dhokla falls. The rest of NRG all in the Palafox, but he's gone, and FakeGod finds one with the Gnar ulti, scooping Huhi right back into Shopify. Triple for Bvoy, and FBI and Contractz will hold the line for now, but a massive swing for Shopify.
No Karthus ultimate here either, so they can't pick up that extra kill. Shopify punish NRG for picking up that dragon. NRG are kind of like, well, we got through our soul point, but we just gave Shopify a ton of extra gold. Look at the chase down. Zeyzal had used the Hex Gate to get over to this side, and then he goes for the sacrifice engage play as support. He got Dhokla's flash there in the engage. He ensured that the rest of Shopify could follow up here. They get their Palafox kill after Palafox had no more flash from his split push battle on the bottom side of the map there with FakeGod. And so Shopify collecting a lot of extra gold in the comeback. This time around, it's kind of flipped from our first game of the series, where now NRG are the ones with Dragon Soul Point, but it's actually a Hex Soul, which is very, very annoying to deal with because NRG have so many DPS champs on their side. With basically 4 carries here that all have an ability to shoot pretty long range and really make good use of a Hex Soul.
Whew. Oh boy. Well, it seems like we have seen this situation again, but FakeGod just picked off FBI, and Sandy Bvoy assisting in the kill as well. There's still a couple of minutes before Baron is up on the table for the taking, but Shopify are still taking this advantage. We'll steamroll it into a tier 2 turret in the mid lane, and they should have full control of this red buff quadrant now.
All right, well, that was free. Nice.
Once again, another moment where like, how did that happen?
Shopify pretty happy to take that one. Tier 2 turret along with the extra kill here, but look at the gold graph. Shopify have fought their way all the way back, and they want more.
He doesn't have flash. Solar Flare lands right in true on top of the jungler for NRG. Shopify are going to continue the chase here, but looks like they're not going to be able to brute force their way through the middle tower just yet.
These engages so good all game long from Shopify. Pick after pick after pick here. Zeyzal constantly on the move. All right, let's see another one there as they pick up Contractz, more extra gold, more territory in their favor. Again, all the wards you see left behind the red quadrant of the jungle. And this is how they started it again, too.
Oh, man.
They constantly take control of jungle vision. And then as you come to check, boom, they get another pick. This one, FakeGod landed the slow here onto Contractz. And they're able to pick that one up as well. Let's see about the live game state, though, because Baron is 9 seconds away from arriving. And it's still dangerous where so much vision control in the advantage of Shopify, and Zeyzal lies in wait.
And members like FBI and Contractz are still down without a flash for this upcoming Baron fight. Dhokla also down a flash. So it's very scary for them to step up and try and threaten Shopify backline members, because then they are susceptible of getting picked off by the Solar Flare, which lands on Contractz once again. Nice interrupt by Huhi, stops the Zenith's Blade, but Zeyzal's going to continue. FakeGod teleported in and looks for the flank as well. Shopify still trying to continue the engage as they pop Contractz, but here comes the Requiem. The Symphony of Destruction will pop two. NRG finding a fight back for themselves as the rest of Shopify's backline are forced to run.
NRG do get two, but so does Shopify. Palafox wants more, though. He wants to make a big play. He got the slow into Bvoy. That's not going to be enough, though.
Insanity's trying to pepper with these rockets from the right side, but it's not going to do anything to stop NRG from taking that tier 2. And importantly, it stopped Shopify from forcing that Baron. Now there's 40 seconds left before the Dragon Soul.
Yeah, everybody's going to be alive for the Dragon Soul, and there are Hex Gates, too. So Boogie will also be able to get there, even though his death timer's a little later. Here's another look at it, and Huhi goes in to deny the full engage onto Contractz. So the Karthus does stay up, but I want to keep my eyes on Bvoy, because look what Bvoy does on the outside here. He ults over to go assassinate Dhokla on the other side, and is able to get the extra kill here. So shutdown money goes over to Contractz, and they were able to pick up two for the side of NRG, but because Bvoy is able to Killer Instinct over to the other side and killed off Dhokla, he too got a bunch of money, and Bvoy is so fed. It is 9-kill Kaisa here, burning through Baron, and it's going to be just like game number 1, Raaffaa. They're going to trade Dragon Soul for Baron.
Okay.
Shopify are like, hey, we did this trade from the other side in game number 1, and we lost. Therefore,
surely
this has got to be the key to victory, right? This has got to be the key to victory. I don't know, man. Hexel is pretty crazy. That slow with Shock Blast. Jayce is one of the best users of this technology. Yep. You watched Arcane, right?
Yep. Oh.
That's where they came up with. That's where they come up with this tech.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Can't wait for Season 2 to come out later this year. NRG, though, now with the Hextech Soul, as you already mentioned, this is the part of the game where they need to withstand and endure the Baron buff for just another 2 minutes, because then they'll have the permanent buff on their side of the map. And this is where, as we alluded to at the beginning of the draft, how this composition works. Shock Blast, whittle them down, and if they are low enough to execute, Dawning Shadow Requiem, but Contractz gets engaged on and he's popped! Shopify making another quick pick, and with the timing of the Locket Shield from Zeyzal, no one goes down on the side of Shopify.
Yeah, you don't want to force the engage when you're the one with the Hexel, but that movement, you could tell from Contractz' movement, he was feeling super aggressive, and he did have flash, but he dodged one skill shot and then immediately gets snared right there. Boogie made the big play. Can Shopify, with their Baron buff still remaining, I mean, this is plenty of time on Baron buff. You've got a big wave on the bottom side.
Yep.
Full minute, 20 seconds, plus the giant wave here.
This turret is gone. It's still another 12 seconds before Contractz is back on the map, and he will not have Requiem for another fight if Shopify want to take it. But they can play it patiently, they can play it methodically. Just take the inhibitor and go. Another minute left before the Baron buff expires.
NRG need to focus up there if they want to end the series. I don't know, for the fans that want a full 3-game series, though, you know, that it's fine. If they're rooting for Shopify to get this game and push us to a 3rd game. But when you have the Hex Soul, for sure, you know, looking around, they landed a Hex Blast, you know, bit of poke there. But then walking up, you don't want to force these engages unless you actually have lethal damage on your target. So a little bit more caution from their side would be advisable.
Just 30 seconds left before the Baron buff is gone. NRG making sure that they don't overstep themselves. There's flashes available for all of the carries on the side of NRG, so if the Solar Flare comes out, they should be able to dodge it. Huhi, the only one without a flash, but it is coming back up fairly soon. And NRG just taking their posture in this top river, making sure that they can have the time to set up aggressive vision on that Baron side, because even though that it is not spawning for another 3 minutes, they still want to be able to fish for picks, try and catch Shopify in mid-rotation, because it's the only way that they're going to be able to win these fights rather than trying to force front to back into Zyra.
Let's see here. Shopify, they've got to be feeling... Ooh, actually, Zeyzal gets a little bit of a chunk here. Some of that poke damage going to work for NRG. They have to be so careful, though. Shopify do have the engage advantage, and with Zeyzal having Warmogs, if you just land a little bit of poke onto the Warmogs Leona, it really doesn't do a whole lot here, as he's immediately back up to full health, and then he's the one that has been threatening all game long. It has been a lot of the picks off the back of that Leona. Really have to give him and Boogie a lot of the credit for a lot of those picks, even though the carries are the ones that you're watching. Insanity and Bvoy here with the big damage, as Bloodthirster also comes in for Bvoy. So Bvoy is full build with a Zhonya's to immune the Karthus ultimate, or to just dive in to enemy dangerous territory here. So Bvoy is all set for a full carry game, and Boogie and Zeyzal have done a very good job of finding those picks for Shopify.
Yeah. While we have some time, Kobe, I want to ask chat, do you think this game 2 will be as long as game 1? Over?
No way! No way!
Listen, I thought the same thing in game 1. I don't remember what the exact game time was in game 1, but...
We're already 37 minutes. It's pretty far.
Over or under 50 minutes, chat. That's just...
I'm going under. I'm submitting my vote immediately. I think there's no way we beat the last game.
I sense a little bit of not strong confidence in that last few words from you, Kobe. You're
okay. I mean, Inhibitor's already down, too. So Shopify, they've got full control. Going for the reset here. 47 seconds before the Dragon does arrive. It's a little bit hard for them because Baron's arriving exactly at the same time as Elder Dragon.
Yep.
So we might get into our cycle that we had in game number 1 of Elder Dragons and Barons being traded, and even sometimes the team with the Elder Dragon actually lost the team fight.
Perhaps.
At the end. So let's take a look here.
Yeah.
It's going to get fun. Elder Dragon, Baron are going to join the party shortly.
And Shopify are optimizing for the Elder, whereas it seems like NRG, I mean, they seem to be positioning for Baron, but they're
we have a bit of a handshake going on here, but Contractz is poked out by these W's. Bvoy, the sniper, 50% on the Karthus already.
Good. And FakeGod, his Mega Gnar is about to time out, but they're trying to burn through this Elder. Contractz cannot get in range. Surely this Elder is secured by Shopify, and now NRG, they have to be careful about tangoing further with this squad, as the poke from Bvoy is starting to become very, very deadly, as you already pointed out. Those Void Spikes are doing a ton of damage right now. Oh, Void Seekers, I should say. And NRG, now, I don't even think they can contest for Baron. With the Elder buff on their side, they cannot take any fight. Now, Shopify, they are going to be at their strongest they've ever been this entire
They're
game.
Galaxy Brain. Shopify are actually Galaxy Brain. They learned from game number 1. They're like, if we get the Dragon Soul, we lose. So we're going to give it away. We're going to get Barons instead. And then in the end, they get the Elder. They get the combo now. Elder plus Baron. Those Dragon Souls looking kind of weak in this series, Raaffaa.
We might have to talk to the balance changes.
Yeah, get Freak on the line.
Buff my dragon.
So while you have Freak on the line, though, can you bring up the topic of the ADs?
True.
AD champions, marksman champions.
Yeah, just
I'm not saying there is an issue, but hypothetically, if marksman champions were played in both solo lanes as well as bottom lane, then we might look at it.
Well, don't worry, Kobe. I think they are giving 80 mids another round of nerfs. At least I think I saw, scrolling through Twitter.
I saw some
this
boots changes, some boots nerfs.
Oh,
I know.
that's
definitely
interesting.
saw that on the PvE.
Well,
All right, well, here we go. Ready for some more action. We're only 40 minutes in, though, so.
rev up here. Shopify. They're hammering away at that first inhibitor on the bot side. It's cleanly taken. Next turret in the mid lane could fall next. Dhokla looking for that poke, doesn't quite land it. Through the minion wave. Second inhibitor should fall. Solar Flare just scatters energy away from the minion wave. And now it is 2 minion waves being empowered by that Baron buff. They're starting to pound these turrets down. Energy, will they force the fight? FakeGod jumps in, still has flash, but he's not in danger yet. As Energy are trying to fish for something. Death Charge canceled out by the stasis by Boogie. Well played. Dawning Shadow and Requiem is going to do a little bit more damage. Boogie, will he burn down to the Malignants and the Leandries? It's going to be close, but Insanity has
Elder.
picked off Dhokla thanks to the Elder buff. Energy are now down a member. Insanity does not have teleport, so he cannot rejoin the fight. FakeGod could if he wanted to recall and teleport back in. And it looks like they're calling off the play now for the base, and they're starting to make their way towards the top side of the map.
Yeah, Elder now finally times out, but Shopify were able to get a lot done. 2 inhibitors down, Dhokla down for another 30 seconds here. So immediately they push out on top side. Insanity also sticking around, should definitely be able to secure this one, no problem. Red buffs for everybody on Shopify, and Hex Gates mean they're going to keep up the siege.
Contractz is trying to get vision over the wall through the lay waste and the wall of pain, but Shopify are already here, threatening from Fog of War. Energy now trying to hold on to the last tower and inhibitor they have in their base. That separates Shopify from being able to grab double empowered super minions through every single lane. Shopify still have a few seconds on this Baron buff, but it's about to expire. Decent shock blast from Dhokla, but it's not really threatening Bvoy or Boogie quite yet.
Super minions, they're lined up mid and bottom. Should be the next minion wave where Shopify get to push in and do a lot here on this tower. Dhokla's gonna be able to clear them out pretty quickly though, honestly. He clears out mid, moves over, Palafox pop the shield bow though.
That was a lot of damage from Bvoy. Is forced to pop the stasis. Energy are going to try to surround him. He flashes over the wall from the dredge line. Here comes the Requiem. Zeyzal should have the locket shield to block out some of that damage. He does. Bvoy still alive. That is a big summoner spell to burn, as he was trying to threaten Palafox, but just a little too far from the tee.
We're going 50 again, aren't we? We're actually going
I tried
50
to tell
again.
you, brother.
We're going 50.
We're 43 minutes
Right.
into the game, and both of these teams are going to wait for both of the neutral objectives to spawn on the map in the next 2 minutes, and that should lead into another couple minutes of jockeying and making the siege. It's the same old dance.
Okay. Can we do better, though? Can we do better? Actually, wait. Can
what's
producers,
better?
can you tell me what was the result of that poll in chat? Because Raaffaa called earlier for, are we going to go longer than the previous game? How many people said yes? I feel like I might be joining that side.
Dredge line onto Zeyzal, maybe an engage, but Zeyzal stays cool.
How many, though?
NRG still playing for position in this mid wave. The neutral objectives not spawning for another 50 seconds on Elder, 124 on Baron. NRG have control of the mid wave despite having to deal with super minions. But there's a big super minion wave starting to come through the base on the bottom side, so someone has to recall, and nice cancel by Bvoy on that Void Seeker. Dhokla forced to stop it.
Yeah, Palafox is going to go hold the super minions, and he has teleport, so Energy are going to try and push mid while Palafox deals with the bottom side minions. And then, honestly, they're going to do the same thing again. When Shopify start on Elder, they're going to run right into them. They're running in right now. a little bit earlier this time to try and get vision first.
Nice thing that Huhi is doing, he's running all over the plan so that Boogie cannot pop them and get a ton of damage on NRG right now. Dredgeline almost hits Insanity. Good Valkyrie by him to escape danger. Palafox waiting on the right side as well. Boogie forced out of the pit, does not get the ideal plant setup for this Elder Dragon take.
218 souls on the side of Senna on NRG.
He's gonna drag it out.
They went for the infinite scaling champion in the Mega Long series.
Oh, they're gonna teleport! They're gonna try to end the base! They're going! FakeGod, double teleport from an Insanity, and FakeGod. NRG, someone has to go back. Dhokla and Palafox are both TPing back into the base.
Oh
It's gonna be a split screen moment, 3k HP on the Elder. Contractz was already taken out of the fight. Elder, who will secure it? Wait! Contractz secured the Elder in the Afterdeath passive, and now Dhokla and Palafox are empowered. Shopify will not get the base Wraith off. FakeGod is forced out of the defensive base, and he's popped by Elder. Oh my goodness, this game is insane!
Did you see? I knew already the result the whole time because we saw the player cam of Insanity the whole time with his head on his hand there. It is NRG that have the ace. It is NRG that are going to ensure that chat was right and I was right this time. we are not going longer than the first game. Wait, 28 seconds on Insanity. Okay, yeah.
Do they have enough time?
Boogie's up at 12.
Yeah,
How much?
12 seconds.
What can Boogie do here? Hold on.
We're gonna see if he can cook here, chat.
Wait.
Palafox and
Zeyzal
Dhokla
also?
taking up the turrets so they can protect the minion wave.
Okay.
Both of the Nexus turrets will fall, and surely this should be NRG overcoming the odds once again to take this series against Shopify. Dude, Dhokla.
Somebody get a mic on Big Dokes right now.
Yeah.
What a banger.
I need the comms right now. He's like, this can't be serious. Oh, man. It is quite contrasting looks on both teams' faces. Elation and sigh of relief from NRG, but absolute heartbreak from the side of Shopify, and you can understand why. They were so close again. Again, Kobe, and it just slipped out of their hands.
Still, though, 0 game wins for Shopify Rebellion in spring 2024.
That's tough. Players will exchange the handshakes and the fist bumps. You can't help but feel for these players on the Shopify Rebellion squad. They had done so many things right, proactively making up picks and pushing forward game tempo. But in the end, it is NRG who are victorious. And just